How do we get into that inner city to help change hearts and minds?
I think about my family. Who grew up in a 3-bedroom house. It was 6 kids. My mom was a single parent at the time. My dad and my mom divorced. And I think about us, and I think, and grew up in the inner city. I wouldn't say drug infested neighborhood, but neighborhood was on the verge of, turning. And I've seen how, the gospel and how individual members have helped in different ways. And I think we need to see each other as sons and daughters of God, right? And not let the circumstances defer us or make us think like, we'll just leave them, we'll keep moving. But for me and my family, it was the missionaries knocking on the door, and it was weird because my mom was like, I had never seen white missionaries or anybody come to the door
in that neighborhood.
And so I think we can't allow our fears or our perceptions of others stop us from reaching out, and we've been tremendously blessed. And that was back in 1997. It's 2024. But I think that's the number one thing, is to not let our fears or our stereotypes stop us from reaching out to these individuals, because you never know who they may be, 10 or 15 years from now. And I think that's the biggest thing, just connecting the dots. We all have something in common. We just have to figure out what that is. And that's one thing I love about the gospel and the message that, we preach is it's for all. And Jesus Christ invites us to come in, regardless of what we look like or how we may be living at that time. But yeah, that's my kind of my thought or take on it.
Yeah, and I love it. And if we can find a way to get the church's teachings of the family in the Black community, that will change the society, I feel like, tenfold. There's a very low level of thinking in the Black community in terms of family and how we should treat each other, the eternal nature of family, the responsibility that the father, has in the home. I believe all 7 of us were raised in homes with single mothers in our group. And so that's a telltale sign of, what's lacking in general in the Black communities and the inner cities is lack of family unity and just descriptive of the importance of family, right? We're taught that the family is the single most important unit in the society. In church and inner city, there's mostly broken homes, father's not around. So we need to find a way to get that.
It just perpetuates.
It does.
Yeah.
It's easy to see what you see growing up and just say, that's the way it is. This is who I am. This is where I'm from. This is how it goes.
Yeah. And we'll hit on that in terms of like circumstances, right? Like we have to stop allowing that to be a norm because it's not normal, but we've just like you mentioned, perpetuated. And over the years, we've allowed it to become normal. And in a sense as well, it's created like this victimhood mentality that we have, that I don't know where it came from or why we still hold on to it, but like we have to get rid of it. And I feel like a lot of the teachings, the principles, and doctrines that the gospel offers, if we're able to get that and help our brothers and sisters in the inner cities see that and learn about it, that alone will make all the difference.
Yeah, I think you already said it, but education and when we think of education, we always think of formal education, but I really believe this. I believe knowledge is power. And I think if we can relay those principles in a way to some of these Black individuals and families, they'll naturally gravitate towards that. I know my family did, and many other families that I personally know naturally gravitated towards it because they realized that they were lacking in some of those areas, especially the family unit, and that's big in the Black culture. Family is everything. And so I think talking about those principles, along with Jesus Christ and all the gospel principles really, but the family unit, that's a
big.
big issue that will resolve a bunch of issues.